Kia ora koutou. Welcome back to this episode of the Bookshop Detectives online on YouTube. And I'm sorry, it's been a while. We've had a couple of weeks from hell. Not really, but just really, really busy trying to get book 2 ready for its publication next year. More news on that to come very soon. But yeah, it's been massive, hasn't it?
So we've been doing very long days editing, and then we've had lots of bookshop things too. So we're going to tell you about what we've been doing.
And first things first, we're going to go right back to the 4th of November, where we had a staff meeting, and everyone thought it was going to be an ordinary staff meeting. We're going to eat Gareth's vegan bolognese and have a book chat, and we did those things, but also we presented the staff with a very, very special Christmas present, which was a huge, long cuboid box covered in wrapping paper. And at some point when everyone was in, it took a little while. And at some point we said, right, now we'd like to present to you this very special Christmas present. And what happened next, Gareth?
What happened next was a knife came out of the box, stabbed its way through, and Phoebe, who used to work with us, cut her way out of the box because she was in America, as far as everyone knew, but she wasn't in America. She was in a box in our
Havelock
house.
Hall. Yeah.
Not for the 3 months or the 6 months she's been missing. I'll just point that out.
We haven't kept her in a box.
No, she was coming over to visit, and it was a surprise. So we surprised the staff, and it was great, and everyone was really happy.
It was very Phoebe. It was Phoebe's
Phoebe.
idea. And she'd already practiced it on her family.
Yes, she had. Yes, so it was cool. And we're just going to show you a video of that now. I might be that way.
Okay.
Okay.
And that was our Phoebe, and the dogs and everybody.
Yes.
Chaotic staff meeting. Welcome to our world.
Yeah. So if you read the Bookshop Detectives and you read the staff meeting, it's sort of like that.
Sort of like that, but it's kind of worse. It's more, because there are more of us than there are actually in the Bookshop Detectives book. And then we went online. We hopped online and we spoke to the nighttime show on ABC Australia.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was good.
It was good, and they asked different questions, which was great. And what was the most interesting question?
Oh, one that we've not been asked before was, so the lady said, so do you get people coming into the bookshop now and asking you to solve crimes? And I said, no. And she said, but really, don't you? Don't you get people coming in to ask you to solve crimes? I'm like, still no. So I think
she wanted a really good story about us real life solving crimes. But
sadly,
no, we just run a bookshop. No, not sadly, because we don't want to solve crimes.
We don't want to solve crimes, thank you. Yeah, so don't do that.
Yes. Don't bring in your cold cases to us, because we won't solve them.
We won't solve them. We're not actually that good. Yeah, and then so that was on the 6th, and then the day after that, which was Thursday, I think the 7th of November.
Yep.
Donovan Bixley was in town.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. Would you like to talk about that?
Yes, so he did an event at the library, and we came along and sold books for him. And Donovan's just great. He's a real sort of performer when he does his stuff. And he had us all... will you tell him a bit about the book, and I'll tell him what we were doing?
Yeah, so Donovan's new picture book for children is The Fantabulous Animal Orchestra. And he's playing with language, as you can see in the title there, Fantabulous. And he's bringing in, there's a conductor of an orchestra, and there are the drum section, which are the insects, and there is the lions, and there are the giraffes, and everyone's part of this really beautiful symbiotic ecosystem orchestra. And one by one, these sections begin to drop away. And the conductor, who's the big powerful person in charge of it all, this is very allegorical. You can just read it as a children's picture book if you want. And it's very colourful and amazing with what Donovan does. But they all start to drop off. And the conductor says, well, it's only one thing. It'll be fine. Until he realises that it's not fine at all. So Carpi Donovan, it's an incredible picture book. And it can just be read to 3-year-olds with all the pomp and circumstance of an orchestra and the colour. But also to an old cynical person like me. And he's got in the very back lots of species and insects and things that are endangered and that we really need to make sure stay part of our orchestra.
Yeah.
So very clever.
And he had us all. He demonstrated it by splitting the audience into different instruments, and we'd do our sounds, and then they'd each drop out one at a time. And I was the elephants, so I had to go boop 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 or something like that.
Something like that.
And I did it very well.
You're very good indeed.
Considering I have no musical talent at all, I thought I kept quite good time.
You made up for it with enthusiasm.
I did.
I think.
Yes. Thanks for that backhanded compliment.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Then what?
Then we took off. We went to Rotorua, and we were there for a family thing where my daughter and I did a forest run, and my daughter Alex, 42.2 kilometres through the forest, like this. Amazing. And we popped into...
And how far did you go, though? Because you did running as well.
I did a half marathon. I did it. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Well
It
done.
was very good. It wasn't fast, but that's not always the point. And yeah, we went to McLeod's Bookshop. So McLeod's in Rotorua has been there since 18-something. It's a very old bookshop, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Prue owns it now. And Prue and Gabby and Marie gave us a very warm welcome.
They did, yes.
And we talked about the Bookshop Detectives at their book club, because they have 2 books for book club and people can choose, can't they, over a couple of months what they're going to read. And so that was really nice to meet some Rotorua readers.
Yeah, we had a lovely time. It was a good discussion, and
thanks,
it was great.
thanks McLeod's. It's great
thanks
to have
McLeod's.
that kind of support. That was lovely.
It is. They were really good.
Then we came home.
We came home.
Had a sleep. Did we? I don't even know if we had a sleep. We
Probably
may
didn't
not
have.
have.
A sleep. No, we might have just gone straight into the edit after
that. Yeah. So editing, and then on whatever day, Wednesday the 13th of November, we went down to Havelock North Library. Every year they do. It used to be called the Publishers Expo, but it's now called Wine, Books and More, I think, or the Wine and Book Lovers Night.
We're them all.
We were them all. And the librarians talk about the books that they've really loved this year, and we were invited to present some of the books that we'd really loved this year, and also we were the guest authors, so that was really nice too. So Emma was great, wasn't she?
Yeah,
she
was
asked
really
us some
good.
really fantastic questions.
And it was nice because 2 of the books that we were talking about, one was a Kiwi Brown and one was The Mess of Our Lives, and they're both written by Havelock North authors. So they were both in the audience. So that was
Christina Sanders and Mary Ann Scott, and they're both fabulous books.
Yeah,
and we didn't know they were coming.
No, we didn't. So that was
So it wasn't planned.
No.
Yeah.
And Chris Sanders was rude to us and heckled.
You were probably rude first.
I was rude first, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the next night I went over to Hastings Forest and Bird Branch, and I presented them with some books that might be relevant to their interest for Christmas presents, or just relevant to their interest because they were to do with conservation. And it's amazing actually how many fiction titles as well you can present, because there are Rivers in the Sky by Alif Shafak. I spoke about that one because it's about the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers, and it's about Mesopotamia and modern day Iraq, and in the modern day, a lady who is a water ecologist as well. So that was very relevant, and that was great. And it was cool being privy to their meeting just before I got to present, because conservation's a big thing, and I don't normally have those conversations like that. And somebody would like your rats. So if you are trapping rats at the moment, there is a scientist somewhere in New Zealand. I can get the details if you want to. But if you want to trap your rats and freeze them in your freezer, then this person is looking at rat viruses.
Oh, that's good.
If you would like to contribute any rats.
Yes. Do not send them to Wardini
Don't
Books.
send them to
We don't want
Wardini
your
Books,
rats.
But get in touch and we'll put you in touch with the correct Forest and Bird person.
Or Forest and Bird will put you in contact.
Ask first before you send rats.
Yes, don't send rats to anyone without having official... I don't even know you can post rats. Would that be rude? Is that like... I don't know.
I don't know if it'd be rude.
Not rude. Do they have those little
biohazard
biohazard things? Yes. Anyway, moving on.
Then I went to Wellington.
Mhm.
I'm in a band called Ish, and it's a world folk band, and it's brilliant. And I went off and did a gig in Wellington with another amazing band called Berserker. They're fantastic. And then we all drove back to Hawke's Bay on the Saturday, and we did another gig.
Mm.
And then I came home, and then we did another 12-hour edit on the Sunday.
I did offer to be in the band doing my elephant.
Offer gratefully declined. Anyway, but we did intersperse that.
Yes.
With a wonderful Facebook Live that you will be able to find, I think, on the YouTube channel, if Gareth's put it up yet.
Not yet.
Soon. Rose Carlyle, who wrote The Girl in the Mirror, and now No One Will Know, and has sold so many copies around the world, translated into 8 languages, The Girl in the Mirror, and the film, film rights optioned.
Yes, we did ask about that. She was a little bit cagey, so I think something might be going on.
Something may be happening.
Yes.
Yeah, but watch this space.
Yeah, and she talked very much about her process of writing, which is very interesting. So,
fascinating. How do you become the queen of the twist? Because surely she is.
Yeah. So that was really good. And then we got our edit handed in, which was like, big relief. And now we're concentrating on the bookshop for Christmas.
Yes, we are, until the editor comes back and says, well, I think you'll find this is nonsense. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's about us, is it?
That is about us, except we can reveal the title and the cover of our new book.
Can we?
Yes.
Okay.
I've decided. So, drum roll. I might edit one on if I can find a drum roll. And here it is. We hope you like it.
Yeah.
We're very pleased with it.
1st of April.
1st of April it will come out. And it's more of the same, which is humorous, cosy crime. Maybe a little bit dark. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah. But anyway, we like it. We hope you do too.
Oh, and speaking of the Bookshop Detectives, our other thing of the week was Stevie had a poorly paw.
Stevie had a very sore paw. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've met him, he looks very quiet and subdued, because he is quite a lot of the time. But because he got some kind of irritation in his paw, I took him to the vets because he wouldn't leave it alone. He was just nibbling and nibbling, and he was the one that made it much worse.
Yes.
And so the vet said, well, because he's such a nervy dog, then I don't want to put a cone of shame on him because he's going to hate that and it's going to make him quite stressed. So we didn't, and we came home. Could we get the cream on him?
No.
So eventually, after another night of him absolutely at it all night, we... Don't tell anyone. We pinned him to the ground. We wrestled this big muscly dog gently to the ground.
It's more like a controlled hug.
It was a big strong hug.
Yes.
And we got a sock on him and sports taped the sock to his foot. And he was like, okay, you win. And then he just walked around the house like this.
He had the sock
for the next 24 hours before, because he doesn't actually take clothes off. He quite likes clothes. So he got it 24 hours and he was like, that's it. And he took it off. And he was miraculously cured. So
that given him enough time to...
It was a bit of a win. But
so that's good. Yeah.
He can be a stubborn little monkey.
He can.
Yeah.
So anyway. Read more about him in book 2.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to our ramblings.
Thanks, everyone. We should be more on time next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Matt. Oh, hang on. We've got to say hello to the person who said why.
Oh, somebody missed us. So if anyone's still listening by now, and Liz, if you're still listening,
hello, Liz.
Hello.
And we miss you too in the shop.
Yeah, we do, and thank you for missing us. All right.
Thank you. Mate wa.
Mate wa.